Well, hey everybody, this is Rich and Cam coming to you live from the studio. Thanks for tuning in for another episode. Our evening commute news will be coming up right after this one. But first, from the biggest and baddest state of Texas, go ahead and give a great old Filling in the Gaps 101.25 on your morning commute. Welcome to Cam.
Hey. We're fun and cool disc jockeys. What's going on?
Okay, I don't know how to take that joke any farther.
They like to refer to me as the speed bump of humor, where you're like bantering and you're going for it, and then I just go, hey, let me just throw something in here that'll make it really hard to work off of.
Well, I just didn't know where to take it. But hey, if you're listening for the first time, welcome out to Filling in the Gaps.
Yeah.
This is a show that's not an actual play podcast, but it's just the two of us, myself from the Heartland State of Ohio. Hi, my name's Rich, and Cameron. We just get together, we sit down for 45 minutes, roll 2 dice, one on a table of 20 themes, one on a table of 20 scenarios, and whatever the dice give us, we mash it together and just brainstorm what a D&D or Pathfinder or homebrewed session would look like with those two things mashed together. We've gotten Zombie Candyland, we've gotten, I always go back to Zombie Candyland because I feel like it defines the show. It's like we don't know what we're gonna get, but hopefully you're able to use it as inspiration next time you sit down to play with your friends.
Yeah, it's a credible opportunity to just sort of jog your memory as a DM and pull out the greatness that's already inside of you, because we don't make you better. You're already the best.
You're already the best.
Yeah, you're the best. You're the best thing.
You're already. Yeah. You're so capable and strong,
powerful,
and just so powerful. Say that right now. I'm powerful.
I'm powerful. Are you talking to me right now? Because God, I feel great.
No, I was talking to them. But Cam, you're also powerful.
I'm powerful. I am powerful.
Can you tell we haven't recorded an episode in too long?
It feels good though. It feels good.
It feels good
because I missed last time. And so, I mean,
also, Cam really appreciates you guys giving him the Washington Redskins love. Keep sending that his way every time they play. Tag him in something. Send him a picture of something. Especially if they're playing his least favorite team, the Longhorns. No, not the Longhorns.
Yep.
Wow. Oof.
Yep.
Oof.
Mm-hmm.
Bah.
Yeah,
Rich
just,
digs himself. Shall we roll?
Nope, you better. I've never in my life felt more shame than when I heard you say that to yourself. And I have to tell you right now, if there was one thing I was going to ask of you to do during that show, it's this, Rich. You ready? Rich. Shall we roll?
Let's do it. Man, it's been so long. I know going twice a month is obviously it's going to be a little farther apart, but it feels like forever. So let's do this thing. Let's roll some dice. Now today I'm rolling for our themes. Cam, you're rolling for our scenarios, and we added some good ones from the community onto these lists today.
Yeah,
so I'm excited to see what we get. All right, let's do it. Uh-oh, that's a joke. That's a laugh. That's a big laugh right there.
Oh, I'm so happy right now, Richard.
Okay, well, I got trapped. Oh,
no, you just tell me the number.
I have a 13. What'd you roll?
I rolled a 15.
All right. Well, while you go ahead and put those two things together into a scenario, I'm going to tell our listeners about a fantastic sponsor known as Libris Arcana Dice. Here's the thing, guys. Do you like dice? I imagine you like dice. Everyone likes dice, right? Do you dice? Dice? Do you dice? Dice? Yeah, of course you dice. You're cool like that. You know about the dice. So if you need some more dice, head on over to LibrisArcanaDice.com. They will send you a random set of dice every month, or every 3 months they'll send you 3 random sets of dice. So if you like a little mix things up, check them out, LibrisArcanaDice.com, and make sure to use our promo code FITG for 25% off your first order. Now, Cameron, you've built it up. I'm excited. What is our theme and scenario for today?
Okay. Guys, it's been a while. Excuse me, let me get closer. First off, I want to say that this week is brought to us by Warley Can. So Warley can. Thank you for this. I'm stoked
Is he both?
for today.
Is he both?
We can't say who he. I don't know. I don't know who Warley can is, but I can say this much: it's a person. It's got to be a human being. So
Gotta be a human.
it could be an alien. It could be an alien, and
Maybe.
if it is, that's okay. Sorry. Just me speaking to the alien, letting him know what's going on. Okay, Warley can. Thank you first and foremost. You have brought to us both the theme and the scenario this week.
What happens when that
you're
happens?
13, Rich. You're 13 is trapped in a mine, which I'm a big fan of. Love
that.
me the old mine cart.
And Minecraft.
Yeah, Minecraft as well. We're gonna have a bunch of what are those things called that blow up? What are they called?
Wow, Cam. I might have accidentally gotten an NFL team and a college team confused today, but at least I know what a creeper is. Come on. Am I right, community? Community, you side with me on this one, right?
The scenario this week, and I'm so excited about it, is a Build-A-Bear Necromancer.
Ooh. Ooh.
I wrote those notes down on a bill. I need to pay this bill. That's important.
Dude.
But yeah.
Build-A-Bear Necromancer.
Uh-huh.
Trapped in a mine. Cam, here's the question. When you put those two phrases together, what do you see in your mind right now? What scene, what villain, what combat encounter, what's like fresh in your mind right now?
Trapped inside of a giant mountain. The players do not know what they've done. They have built together this giant, disgusting amalgamation of skeletal creatures, all from different portions of different animals and beasts. Now, the beast turns on them, and they must escape. And they're also in a mine.
They're also in a mine, but they're trapped in a mine. That's a very important thing. Trapped, not like adventuring in a mine.
What about this?
Go.
What about this? Players get trapped in a mine. We have maybe this is like a say for example, have you ever as a DM decided, you know, it'd be really fun minecart chase and stuff like that. I gotta tell you, if you have a chance to do a minecart chase, do a minecart chase. It's incredible. So, say for example, your players fail. Well, failure doesn't always mean death. Maybe they fail and end up trapped in this mine.
Oh my gosh!
And then, are you saying "Oh my god" because you know where I'm going, or are you saying "Oh my god"?
No. You go, and then I have something to build off of what you're saying. I have a cool idea.
Well, they get trapped in the mine, and they land in this small place. And actually, now I'm like way too interested in what you were going to say. What's happening now?
Okay, so I'm thinking of like, how do we get our players to the mine? And I was thinking through the last time I did something with mines. It was for some level 1s, and it was goblins that took over a mine. The classic, right? Mm-hmm. So these goblins took over a mine. They kill the goblins. The goblins had an ogre on their side. Very, very, classic vanilla episode, 1. However, we're dealing with a Build-A-Bear Necromancer here. So, of course, everyone in the town thinks that goblins are what's killing people because there's goblin footprints, because there's goblin claw prints. But what if, oh my gosh, this could be sick. What if you go out into the forest, no one's come back alive, and you're in this mine, and all of a sudden comes out, it's this creature, and it's like the size of 2 bears, like stapled together, but all of its hands and feet are goblin hands and feet, and it's like a centipede with like all these little goblin hand and feet as it just like moves around, and then it's got like 2 bear heads on the front of it. So like when you look at footprints, you're like, wow, look at all, there must be a whole entire thing of goblins in this forest. Like that's crazy. Mm-hmm. But it's not. It just looks like it is because of this necromancer is like, I'm going to build something that makes people think it's just goblins. So they send like just low level heroes out there. And then when they get out there, it's something much worse.
So you're saying like a bear centipede, a bear centipede.
Pretty much, yes.
Like a human centipede, but for bears.
but for bears and with goblin arms
Goblins.
and legs.
Okay, can I? Hey, Rich.
Go, hop on.
Build up your strength in your legs real quick. I don't want to hurt your knees. Okay, you feel good?
What is clenched?
Okay. Yep. And now I'm over your shoulders, and I got my arms wrapped around your chest.
Mm-hmm. Ooh.
I believe in you. I believe in you, bud. Okay, now here we
on.
go. And now I whip you like a horse, and I go, yeah! And now we're off, and we have some ideas. Okay, and here's my ideas. What if this necromancer isn't just doing it with like goblins and bears? What if he's doing it with maybe other beasts in general, and then combining them together to make just a bunch of different style types of beasts, like maybe he's combining goblins and bears, maybe he's combining kuatoas and shadows,
Crocodiles.
Maybe he's utilizing sort of like a natural animal and a monster and turning them into his own little creations, and he's then using them to, well, see, does the necromancer have to be bad? Does it? Because I don't know. I feel like this is such a whimsical take on things, and I just think that maybe he's repurposing dead things.
Some people have games where necromancy is not inherently bad, but I think in most like vanilla worlds, it's considered evil. But even though it has the taboo of being evil, that doesn't mean there can't be good necromancers. But it's the taboo is what makes it evil.
I have an idea.
But what do you think of a whimsical take? I was thinking just like
actually,
straight old bad boy. But what are you thinking? Go.
Well, now that you say bad boy, I just pictured the necromancer in a leather jacket, and he goes, "Hey, check this shit out." And he just pops his collar and does something crazy. Well, now that you say it that way, you've got me thinking. And then I also went back to trapped in a mind. In a mind. Excuse me, not in a mind. But how do our players get trapped in that mind? What if that giant centipede-like bear has the statistics of maybe like a purple worm or something like that, and it's causing maybe earthquakes around a local mining town, and there's some miners that have gone missing, and
well, kind of what I was thinking with the okay, so I guess there's two ways. I was going more you think it's goblins, so you go out expecting goblins, and then you see something that is not goblins. You're like,
well, you could still utilize that in the whole people are going missing stuff.
Yes, yeah. But you're going more the like there is just some unknown crazy powerful monster out there that like needs to be stopped. And both those could be, what if it's like a little bit of both? What if the party goes out expecting just to kill some goblins, but then they uncover
the fact that it's actually a big old barrapede.
Yeah, but I think that's like you said, just the tip of the iceberg. I think once they figure out that this mine shaft that used to maybe belong to these goblins is now like being used by this much bigger of a threat necromancer who's just using this mine thing to like piece together. Oh my gosh, you could introduce a surviving goblin NPC who like wants revenge. So yeah.
Yes, it would be adorable.
Aww.
He'd be like, I just want to stab his eyes out. And everybody'd be like, oh my god, he's so cute.
Oh, he's so cute. Can we keep him?
I'm going to bite his throat and kill him. And you're like,
get your hands off me. And you're like, oh, I just want to hug him.
Oh, you're so sweet. Yes, I do like that.
Now, here's another thing. Could it be like a goblin shaman? Like, at first I was imagining, like, classic necromancer. But classic necromancer. When someone says necromancer, what you picture black robes, probably a skull or two adorning the robes, maybe a white beard, his skin's falling off, like that kind of stuff.
Classic necromancer.
Classic necromancer. But what if he's like got a like
goblin shaman?
What if it's a
Goblin
goblin
shaman that's
shaman?
taking his own people and repurposing them along with creatures in this mine and stuff like that.
And that's what keeps it from getting too crazy. Because more like a high-level spellcaster necromancer could be like creating these huge eldritch abominations. But this is just a goblin shaman using what it has available to it.
Mm-hmm. And it could have maybe some scout, build a squirrel animals that run around and do its bidding to find out what's going on. And they're actually, I had met somebody on Twitter that was named the cranium squirrel or something like that, or the brain squirrel. I can't remember, but essentially it was like a squirrel with an exposed brain. And I was thinking how cool that would be if you did maybe like a little goblin like a little goblin body, but the head's missing and it's just a squirrel head instead.
Dude, yes. What about too if you had like a goblin head that's just a head by itself, and like attached to it are all these different wings.
Oh, like bat wings?
Just like bat wings, bird
pigeon
wings,
maybe
multiple wings, just to
dragonfly
keep it in
wings.
the air. Dragonfly wings, and it's just like you're like, oh man, there must be some kind of owl or something. That fits the
aesthetic of the goblin shaman too, because it's just like what do I put together? Oh look, wings, and it just jabs into the side of this head, and the goblin's like, that hurts, and he's like, shut up, you stupid head! I'm gonna make you my necromancer thingy.
Yeah,
I don't even know how to speak like a necromancer.
He's like, I want to make a goblin that can fly. So he's like, cool, I'll just take this goblin and I'll put wings on you. And then he's like looking at it, he's like, and these like little bird wings are trying to flap. He's like, you're too heavy. You're too heavy. And he's like, maybe you just add more wings. And he adds a bunch more wings. He's like, nah, you're still too heavy. And he's like, I know. I'll just cut off your head. And that'll like make you much lighter. And then it's like, perfect.
I love this little dirty goblin shaman Build-A-Bear necromancer that's essentially just like a crazy witch, almost like just walking around the room going, I need an eye and the fart of a frog and ooh, the toenails of an ant. Oh yes, that'll work perfectly. And he's just running around like a little psycho. Now we got to think about this. So we got this little bastard. Okay.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
And that's speaking literally, not using the derogatory term. Like this.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
The shaman goblin does not have a father.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm sorry. But we deal with very hard storytelling elements in the show. And I just want to bring it up. So in addition to that, though, so we've got this kind of character being built right here. Big fan of that. Now we got trapped in the mine. Okay? So, why or how or what could we do to get our players in a mine and then trap them in it, or start them trapped in a mine? Kind of like this little House of Horrors situation.
That's a good question. Well,
it's a difficult one because it's like I can't think of like what would this? Okay, well, maybe the better question is, what does this shaman want?
So a really cool scene that he wants more parts, dude. I think he's simple in that regard. Like, just wants to make more parts. Wants to be best goblin shaman ever. But what if? Man, this is the scene that I'm seeing, but I could see how some parties would be not okay with it. Excuse me, I had a LaCroix burp. Sorry about that. But the scene I'm seeing is maybe this is an adventure for lower level parties. It's like a good. I think this would be a dope starting adventure where like everyone's sitting down, and even especially players who have played before, they're in their heads. They're like, goblins again? Like, I've fought goblins before. So when they see that it's not goblins, it's very much like, whoa, this isn't what I was expecting. Maybe if they're level ones, this bear, goblin, whatever creature, maybe it actually comes out and you just like, and this is where I say it probably wouldn't work, but you, with permission of the party, if you've got the trust, it just knocks you out. Like, it just overpowers you so quick that it knocks everybody out, and you wake up in the mines, and maybe one of your party, the biggest one maybe, wakes up like tied to a table, and this goblin shaman is kind of like just monologuing a little bit about how he's going to cut him up all nice and make him even stronger or make himself stronger, whatever. And everybody else is in cages. And then the goblin shaman at some point, like you said, is going through like things that he needs. Like, oh, I need the eyes of a frog. Oh, I need the belly of a bear. Oh, I need the ears of a like bumblebee. Just weird things. And he like realizes that he's like, oh, of course. Like, I need toenails. I need toenails. And then he just like is like freaking out. And then he's like, I gotta go get some like right now. And then he leaves the chamber to go find these toenails. And that's where your players can like interact with like escaping. Like they can escape their chambers, they can free their dude, or
that's where you start the mission. That's where you start the whole scenario.
That's if your players are okay with.
No. Think about it. If we're just doing like a one shot,
True.
You know, if I'm just doing a one shot, I could just sort of tell the story up to that point, and it won't take long. Didn't take you long at all.
That's
true. It's just like, you're there in a forest, you see this bear, the bear, and everything goes black, and then blah 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 blah, and then you start doing the voice, and the characters or the players are going to like that because it's just fun. It's just fun to see this like frantic character start to freak out around them, and then they're still sort of in the wonder what's going on phase and all that kind of stuff. Yeah,
and it lets you even like create like a cool scenario where maybe you hatch a plan where you're like, oh dude, he's got this like chemical stuff. We could maybe create an explosion, but hey dude on the table, you've got to keep his attention. Like don't let him look back to us. Mm-hmm. Or maybe like that guy's like somehow broken himself free and the guy comes back in. So the people in the cages are trying. It can create moments like that. And it creates that cool little, how are you guys going to get out of that scenario? And I like that in D&D because it encourages, especially for low-level players, like people to think creatively. Like, what
Absolutely.
Can we do to actually get out of this?
Yeah. And you don't give them too much, right?
No.
You back off and let them think of things like, is there this? Is there that? And that makes it so much better. Okay. I like this. We have a goblin shaman necromancer that has been essentially taking the local animals of their surrounding area and really just capturing them all. And just anything that he can find, it's using to essentially just, chop it up, use it for what it wants to. And it's low-level necromancy, so it's kind of like these very funky, weird animals and different sort of creations. Let's talk about the goblins themselves.
Okay.
Because I would imagine that there's a goblin shaman, there is a hierarchy to goblins, and goblins would reside underneath that shaman. But I would say, and this goes back to what you brought up earlier, wouldn't it be a lot of fun to have a goblin that kind of is not okay with this and is like, you gotta get me out of here. This guy's pulled off my ear. I'm missing 3 fingers.
Yep.
And he flicks off your players because he's only got the middle finger left. He's like, why did he leave? Only the middle finger. I don't get it.
His name's Stumpy.
That's a funny joke. It's because I have no legs.
He could even be, oh, that could be awesome. He could even be like in a cage next to your party, and he could be there to like provide helpful hints if your party needs it. But I do like the idea that he doesn't have like legs. Maybe he only has arms and he can kind of walk on his arms, but he also like just kind of grabs onto one of the party. Maybe he used to be the old boss, or maybe he just hates the shaman because the shaman's taken a lot of his parts.
You could wear him like a backpack.
You could wear him like a backpack. I love that. It's like a more gross version of Yoda.
Yeah. Teach you how to get out of this cave, I will.
Dude, what if it's even something where it's like the shaman has taken half of his tongue, and so that makes, in the goblin's mind, that makes him think he can only speak with like half the words that he used to.
That's so stupid.
I love it. So that's where the Yoda talk comes from. Took my tongue, she did. What? Took my tongue.
Yeah. Yoda still finished full sentences. They just weren't necessarily in order. He would have, my tongue took.
Yes,
Who?
exactly.
Who took it? I don't know. I don't know. Okay, cool. So let's say we're getting out, right? The players have made their way out, and they find 2 exits. This would be a really cool dungeon. So this would be a great opportunity for you as a DM. So we've had some one-shots that were more open-ended, more...
overworld, like do whatever.
Yeah, like overworld, and also like a lot of theater of the mind, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I go back to the whole what are those
99% of our episodes.
Bullywogs. Bullywog. Yeah, we had like a Bullywog episode. That was a real open-ended and very theater of the mind episode. This would be a great episode to sort of maybe dust off the old dungeon creator and start to map out like a 3-level or 4-level mine dungeon or something like that. And then at the end of it, you have a really fun set piece of like the escape on a mine cart that shoots out of the open bright hole at the end of the entire track that's broken right before the end or something like that. But this would be a great opportunity, I think, for DMs to really stretch their legs and have like a physical dungeon in front of them.
Especially because it's such a different dungeon. It's not like you go in and you come out dungeon. It's just it's like an opposite dungeon where you're looking for the entrance.
Uh-huh.
And even on top of that too, like you could really put the pressure on them that they're probably not going to kill the shaman when they escape. Like they're probably going to escape, and then the shaman like comes back and notices that they're missing and sends things after them. So there's always this idea that like as you're making your way further through or out of the mine, you have to like think of things to cover your tracks or to like slow things down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I also think that there would be a really cool way of traversal throughout the mine of different tracks going to different portions of different levels of the dungeon.
Ooh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like where like one could go through you have like the side of, say for example, if you're looking at the dungeon stacked in 3 layers vertically, on the side of level 2, you could have in your DMing side labeled that track C or C1. So it'll actually go up a level to maybe the level that exits. But if you continue on that track, it'll then go to the right side of the map that goes down to A1. And so now you're back at the very beginning in this like weird, it's kind of, what's that painting where you walk up one set of stairs and go through a doorway, but then you end up upside down in a different area or something like that. That's kind of like the feel that I would want it to have. You have the physical manifestation in front of you, so there's this weird puzzle that's starting to present itself, and the puzzle is the dungeon itself. Does that make sense?
No, it makes sense.
Does that sound fun?
Sounds fun to me. My brain's kind of getting twisted trying to think of all that right now. But I think as a player, that kind of maze stuff would seem awesome. I especially think it could be cool as long as blah 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 blah. Alongside the minecarts to have like just weird ways of traversing this mine. Like maybe there's a door that smells people, and that's how it lets them through. Because this goblin shaman has just attached a nose to a door. Or something dumb like that, so they have to find a way of smelling like a goblin, which could just be fun to tell your players you have to smell like a goblin to get through and see what they come up with.
Yes, I love that.
Or maybe there's just like maybe to get
that's a really good idea. That's a great idea.
Because it's just dumb and silly. Maybe there's like a thing where to get up to a second level, instead of there being a ladder or something like that, like you have to think of a passcode, or there's just like a really long arm that comes down and grabs onto you and picks you up, or something like just it's like a rope. I don't know, just things like that.
What about this though? How much fun would it be to run into the spare parts room? And maybe there's like an imbuement stone, and you see like different torsos and different body parts and stuff like that. And you players get to do a Build-A-Bear.
Out of Stumpy.
Monster.
Stumpy has no arms and no legs.
Oh my god, that's so great! And he goes, yes, go over here. I'll show you. And then he's like, and then you get in the room, and then there's like a warforged left arm with a razor blade coming out of it. He's all, yes, that one.
Yep.
But then there's also like a like a small. This is really messed up and grotesque, but like a child's arm holding a lollipop. That's really messed up. But he's all, no, please God, no, not that one. And then one of your players will be like, yeah, he gets a lollipop arm, yeah. And then
+2 to charisma.
+2 to cuteness.
Dude, that could be so much fun.
Yeah, dude. So that's really, really some great features. You have like a maze-like dungeon. You have the door that's like, not goblin, I do not smell goblin. And then you have the spare parts room where Stumpy could be like, hey, get me inside of this. I can help you if you just give me some legs. And there's like a peg leg and a duck leg on one side.
Yes. I love this.
Man.
But even like, okay, so thinking of that has me thinking of like so many different types of encounters you could have in this mine. Like maybe like there's some goblins that I'm picturing like a centaur where it's like half man, half horse, but it's half goblin, half wolf, or like half goblin, half like spider. And they're just like kind of like running around like scouts or cavalry type stuff.
There, you could do like big ogre arms in the side of minecarts that pull themselves along the track.
Ooh, yes, yep. And there's just like goblin archers in it.
Yes.
Yep.
I love it. Man, this is a freaky.
Dude, that could be cool for the minecart chase. Is that you're in one of those, and it like you look like you're about to like go off of a cliff, and then all of a sudden it just like reaches up and starts like gorilla climbing through the ceiling.
Yes, dude.
And you're like, okay, I guess we're still moving.
Man, this is such a fun one. This is cool, dude. This is, you know what's great about this one? Not too much, so we can still do a one-shot inside this guy. But at the same time, we still have a lot of like fun little things.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, okay, so what aspects of the chase? Because the chase is like a big aspect of a mine, right? Like that's a huge sort of tension builder to the point of where you spill out of the mine, and then the magic wears off and Stumpy starts to fall apart.
Maybe there's some kind of
sad moment,
some kind of timer or something, like maybe not like an actual like clock timer, but maybe just like a
turn timer,
like an intensity die almost. Like there's just a 1d6 that is like how intense the session is, and what bases that is like how sneaky you're being, how fast you're being, and how much you are throwing things in between you and what's chasing you. So if it's like a 1 or a 2, you're pretty stealthy, not a lot of people know you're there, but then like maybe that your players start taking too much time in a room and you don't necessarily have an encounter, but you just flip the die up to 3 and your players know like, shoot, like something's getting closer, or you even like flip it up to 3 and you say like you start to hear sounds from the hallway that you just came from. And it just like keeps that intensity, and maybe when the dice is higher, if they get into a combat, it automatically is just harder, or there's more things in it because they're tracking them down more. And that's just a really easy, it's not like an actual timer where it kind of almost, I feel like sometimes snipes you because you have to follow the timer. You can't be like, well, the timer ran out and I don't want to actually do anything for you guys right now, like because of the moment you're having, so just ignore the timer. Like, you kind of just have one in your head, and that dice is a really simple thing that I could see most parties, like, you changing it from, like, a 3 to a 4, just, like, silently, like, you don't need to say anything, you just reach down and flip it, and the party automatically goes, oh, shoot, we gotta get out of here.
Yeah, it's just like, it's like turning up the heat in an oven.
Exactly.
It's not like, I mean, the longer I spend in here, the higher the chances are I am going to die, but it doesn't mean that there's a set finite time of when it is that I'm going to die. Does that make sense?
No, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah. Okay, so you and I, we're on the same page. You know why? Because you're my best friend.
We're always on the same page.
Hey, page 173. in the Monster Manual. What is page 173 on the Monster Manual? Hold on, I'll be right back. Now I have to check it.
Hey guys, this is Rich here from Filling the Gaps. Welcome to Smooth Times while we wait for Cam to come back with his Monster Manual.
And I opened the page. This is meant to be today. I just opened the book.
Don't tell me.
I legit ended up on page 173 right away.
Ooh.
Right away.
And what is it?
Well, we can do one of two things. Our friendship is either a Grick.
Okay, Gricks are kind of gross.
Or a Grick Alpha.
Oh, you know we're the Grick Alpha. Wait. Grick's like the thing where it's like a bird lizard, right?
No, it's like a bird worm. Even better.
So we're having Gricks now, right? Gricks are a thing you can run into in this mine.
Yes, absolutely. What would be a better high-speed train than a Grick on a railroad track? A Grick that has wheels stuck to the sides of it, while the players themselves are like standing on top of this Grick as it's just chewing up anything that lands on the track in front of it, and these players are having fights on top of this Grick. I don't know how big Gricks are. I would imagine probably too big for players to have fights on top of. But maybe there's a goblin standing on the top of this Grick, and they're connecting little animals together and then throwing those animals inside your cart, and those animals start going crazy or something like that, like little grenade animals.
That could just be so. I just love this session so much. But you know what we were saying before.
We don't really need Gricks, by the way. The Gricks are just more or less a representation of our love for one another.
That's awesome.
As in they're all-consuming, endless eating birds that are slimy and gross.
Yeah, and you know what? It's a bird and a slimy snake thing, and you might not look at those two things and say, "Man, those two things fit." But you know what? It does.
Just so long as you promise that you'll always be the bird to my slimy snake thing.
I'll always. My beak and your slimy snake. I'm going to stop that sentence right there. Anyway, so Cameron, how do you think we can give our players some opportunities to lower that intensity dice?
Well, I think that positive actions, when you would think to give someone inspiration, just drop that dice down. You know, like, oh, that was a really cool thing you did right there. Or, hey, you just took out like X amount of goblins. So you can do it in a lot of different ways, like your barbarian, your fighter types. Let them do what they do best.
I like that
let
idea
them shine.
Of actually having a good combat, like addressing the threat head on, kind of could reset it. Because you're not going to do that a lot. Palate. Exactly. Right. You're not going to do that a lot, but like you could do it a few times. What about like, I guess you could like maybe collapse some kind of tunnel or set a trap.
So you could have your sort of roguish types that could do those kind of things like that as well. You could do what about if I mean this is more of like a player idea, but like the players, they could think about maybe putting together some of those animals in that little spare parts room and try to create a diversion in a different area.
Ooh, like or finding a room full of like caged creatures, and like your druid or your like ranger could do like an animal handling check, and like let them out or something.
Maybe there's a rod that reverses the direction of all the tracks in the like the reverses the direction of all the mine carts in the whole place or something like that.
Yep, I like that.
You know, there's a lot of different things that you could do that just allow. But see, this is the beautiful thing. It goes back to, I think that if you just allow for your players to have that room and freedom to do that, they're going to find things that make you go, wow, that was fun. That was cool. That's going to, boom, drop the die down.
Drop the die.
You know what I mean? Like, it just, like, turn the 4 to a 3 and do it physically in front of them.
And they're going to feel like, yes, we did it.
Exactly. Whereas if they do something wrong or if they mess something up, you just don't say a word, reach in front of the DM screen, and you take that die and you turn it one number up. And it just, that subtle sort of like play the game that you're playing with their minds at the moment works 1,000 times over.
Now, well, I was just gonna say, I think that this is like a put a ribbon on it, package it up, ship it out, because this is like a nice, hot, spicy sesh. Like, ready to run. Go with it.
Don't you dare chef's kiss me. I love you as much as any kind of bird loves a slimy snakeskin thing, but
sorry, I do the chef kiss a lot. Okay, yeah. But here's my thing. What if we so pizza's good, but white pizza's also good, and it kind of puts a whole twist on the entire thing and makes you look at pizza kind of a little bit differently. So what if we kind of do that to the session real quick, and I propose maybe in the beginning of this session, it's not that just just a player is strapped to the table and nothing's been done to them yet. Maybe your player starts the session off, either one player or all of your players, and their brains, or maybe just one player's brain, has been transplanted into a goblin. So you have to get their body back, but you can also keep moving their brain from whatever it's in now into other things.
Okay, that I think you would have to get someone's permission on, but I do think that would be incredible. Because that would be such a fun, interesting thing. Because what you said, now here's the thing, does that mean that their character's dead?
No, they'll get their body back. That's the craziness of this whole necromancy thing, is like now one of the other goals is also you have to find this person's body.
Yes.
And maybe
gives
it's
us
even
a reason
thing
to
where,
stay a little longer.
Yes, maybe even this necromancer's like right-hand man, like its brain is now in your player's body. Because think of how much bigger a player is than a goblin.
Right.
So you got this big brute dumb guy who's in, oh dude, I'm just seeing like so many funny scenes, like where I'm imagining like a character being in the body, or them walking to the room, them seeing this like grunt inside this big player's body, and he's like, all right, now I'm going to show you lot what pain is. And he's like, do I really sound like that? And everyone's like, that's pretty close. It's pretty close to how you normally sound. It just creates like so many cool little like fun, and once again, it's so different. Imagine like, all right, you wake up and you find you feel around as you're coming to, and you're tied down to a table. Your arms and your limbs are just weighted down by ropes and by chains, but also you're blindfolded. You can't see anything. And as you try to move, you just are zapped of all your strength. You feel so weak. Someone must have like put something in your system or weakened you. Is there anything you want to try to do or anything? And he's trying to get out. And then like the other players, like, you don't see him anywhere in the room. All you see is like that there's a goblin in this room who appears to be tied down to a table, and kind of just see how long it takes for the rest of the party to figure out that the goblin that they see tied to the table is the player that this other member of their party is like playing out, trying to get free.
Gotcha. I like that a lot. That's just a nice, you know what you did? You sent the gift of this episode out. You were like, hey, got this sweet little thing. I hope you don't mind. Oh, by the way, I also attached an Amazon gift card for $10 as well. So here, if you want this fun little idea. Yeah,
it's like ordering Libris Arcana dice and then getting 25% off your first order.
Yay!
With a promo code of FITG.
Yeah. Okay, well, Rich, I think we've accomplished something today. Here's what we've accomplished.
Yes.
We've accomplished a beginning, a middle, and an end. Kind of. The end is escape, right?
Okay, yeah.
You right? Or do we finish with a big combat? Or is it more rewarding and leaving that maybe new player that's never played D&D wanting more to have the goblin standing at the hole that was just created in the side of this massive mine shaft that flung out, the players fly out on this cart, careening down this hill, tumbling out, looking back up to the hole and seeing this goblin say, "This isn't the last you've seen of me!"
Dude, I think...
as he falls back.
I think... I wouldn't want to kill this goblin. I'd love to be able to... I mean, your players will want to, and if they want to, and they do, like, reward them for that. But this could be a sweet goblin to bring back later.
I just... how rewarding is it for the first time someone playing D&D, in a one-shot specifically, leaving them wanting more? There's always something to that, right? And even though there's not necessarily some continuity, even though you very well could... I think that there's some value to that. And I know that a lot of us as DMs always deal with potentially introducing new people into the game. Well, this is like a very simplified, fun, exciting, fantastical way to do that while still providing that, like, dangling the candy. Or I don't know what's the term?
I think it's carrot.
Carrot. Dangling the carrot.
Mm-hmm.
Then, yes, because they're a horse. Your horse friends.
Exactly.
Huge D&D friend. Yeah, huge D&D players.
Yep.
Literally and figuratively. So, or metaphorically. So with that being said, I think exiting the mine is the ultimate goal.
Oh yeah.
That way,
there's going to be
then you can
something
wrap it
big
up.
chasing you.
Yes. And it could be implied that it's not necessarily just like take a few sword swipes and you're going to be fine. It's more implied like if it gets a few hits, you're not going to be okay.
Yeah, especially if it's the bear thing or whatever it is that knocks you unconscious in the beginning. Like, it automatically knocked you unconscious in the very beginning of the session. So, like, it's going to mess you up if it catches up to you.
Correct. So, I guess, I mean, this feels great, man. It's got everything you would want in a one-shot. It's got everything. You're kind of the best storytellers of all time.
I think, you know what?
As evidenced by DM's Treehouse bi-weekly on Thursdays.
Yes. I think we are. I would agree with that.
We're incredible. And no one is better. And
So Cam, let me ask you this. I forgot to do a synopsis last week.
I saw that.
I would love if this week you could start us back off with synopsises by doing this week's synopsis.
Oh, you want to put it on my shoulders?
I'd love to.
So you dropped the ball, you fumbled, and I'm picking it up.
Exactly.
And now I'm running towards the end zone.
My hands are shaky. I just need someone
weak. Mom spaghetti.
Any
chance?
All of that. Just so if you could just take this one, I'd really appreciate it.
Okay. Do you want to do a summary real quick?
Sure. I can do a quick summary.
No.
No,
I don't actually.
Can you do all of it, Cam? Pretty please. Okay. No, I'll do the synopsis real quick.
Cool.
Or wait. I'll do what I'm gonna do. Hey guys, this is Rich here, super professional, giving you guys a recap on what we talked about today. Okay. So starting off, your players are sent into the woods to track down some pesky little goblins. Their footprints have been seen all over the woods, and they've started mugging and killing local townsfolk. That's not good. Can't have that. Send out some level 1 party people to go and take care of it. What's this? It's some kind of weird abomination creature that has goblin legs and arms, and a lot of them. I didn't expect that. Your players get captured and taken into the lair of a goblin shaman who's just started playing Build-A-Bear with all sorts of parts. Whether it's goblin parts or human parts or dwarf parts or orc parts or squirrel parts, whatever. This goblin's building all these sorts of creatures, and your party has to get out of these mines as quickly as possible before this revengeful goblin kills them and just slices and dices and puts them all back together however it sees fit. Now, how your players get out, it's kind of up to them, but it is a race, and there will be something chasing them down. Cam, that give you enough time?
Yes, it did.
Yes, it did.
I'm ready. There once was a party. No, I'm just kidding. Okay,
I thought you were telling this from a goblin's perspective for a second.
Ooh, actually, now I have a new idea.
Yes.
Yes, okay, cool. There once was a party of dangerous adventurers that had found their way into this magnificent and glorious cave. The cave was filled with wondrous items, monsters galore, smart, intelligent goblins. These dastardly heroes decided to make their way through this cave, taking from the smart and intelligent and benevolent goblin. They took everything from him, and then they escaped out the side, leaving ruin in their wake. This isn't, though, my little goblin friend, where the story ends. No. This is where our story begins. As the goblin shaman places a crystal directly into the heart of this massive, hulking beast created from different parts and one giant beholder eye. So it's like the sequel to this one shot. We'll find out next time on Goblins Ball Z. That did not come out.
Oh gosh, did you say Goblin Balls Z?
Well, now I did. I mean, Goblins Ball Z, but Goblin Balls Z would be great too, I guess. I'd watch. I think we could all agree. We would all watch it.
I think we would. We'd watch
absolutely.
it. Don't lie. We know you. We can assume, listener, that you would watch it.
Absolutely. Well, I think that was an awesome episode, man. I was really happy with it.
Glad to be back at it. Feels good.
Yeah, man. I want to do some push-ups right now.
Yeah. Chest bump. Chest bump.
Chest bump right now.
Ooh, I felt that. That.
It was for you. And hey, guess what? As well, it was also for you, listener, as well. So thanks for getting to this point of the episode. Hopefully you like the synopsis this week.
And guys, as always, we appreciate having you here at Filling the Gaps. We're not an actual play podcast, but we go ahead and brainstorm crazy ideas you might not have thought of on your own so that you can actually play with your players on your next game night. Hope you guys have a good one, and you should check us out on DM's Treehouse. It's really cool, and it's awesome, and we'd love if you gave it a listen. Shameless plug. Yeah, shameless plug. But yeah, so we'll see you guys next time. Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Goodbye now.
Goodbye now. Goodbye. Bye-bye now. Okay, bye. Bye. What's that from?
It's for Toy Story 2. Everybody gone now? Oh, thank God. I can't keep the smile up anymore.